doing? It's good to be back. Now what I've got here, I'll just adjust my volume on this, there we go. What I've got here is the unwrapped piece, well, basic unwrap. I mean, you know, you've seen the unwrap map that I've been using. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to load up Adobe Photoshop, bing, I bet you wish it loaded that fast in real life. And I'm going to start kind of fleshing out a texture we can use. So, I'm going to go and open my original texture, which should be something like back up to my desktop and into my projects folder, and blackouts and setups still working on. So here we are, textures, and we've got our UVW unwrap. Okay, so I'm just going to open that. This is the one that we made in our last set of tutorials. And wait for it to open. There you go. Now it's, you know, primitive, which is what we like. And we're going to start off with this section here, and this section here is, if I just open this one out, do a quick draw, that's kind of this bit here, yeah? So, go back over here again, and scoot a bit more, just so that I've got this bit kind of occupying the entire lot. Now, the first thing I want to do is start with layers. Now, I'm assuming you guys have used Photoshop a little bit, but if you haven't, then why did you buy it? Okay, this is our layer 0. I'm going to go to layer properties and I'm going to rename this our base layer. Okay, just so we know what it is. Now on top of this I'm going to do a new layer. This one's going to be unnamed for the moment. Now, I'm going to start with a nice light grey, about here, say about straight 50, straight 106, sorry, make it straight 100, there we go. And I'm going to do a paint on it, so use my paintbrush. Hang on, what am I talking about? Sorry, use my lasso first. I want to start lassoing. Being silly. So, you see, this is what's so hard making bloody painting texture tutorials, isn't it? So what I'm doing is, I'm just kind of drawing out the shape, and I want to go over just a tiny bit as much as possible. That way I won't be left with, you know, too much mess, where you end up getting a border where you don't want one. I think you know what I mean. If you've done this before, you end up with white borders around your textures. You end up having to adjust your UV that. It's most distressing. There we go, so we'll cut our first piece. Now with our textures at, is it 100? I'll make it 70 actually, there we go. So RGB all at 70. Let's do this, like that, and Control D. Now if we look, this lasso, you know, we're going to have a little bit sticking over here, so I'll just go straight over and do this now. There we are. Control D, still got a bit down here. Decrease the size of my brush and just draw it myself. You really have to go over, you see, it's important. In fact, I might redo this piece all over again. Just try and draw it slightly larger than it actually should be, which always leads to fun and complication. There we go. So as you can see, I'm just trying to draw it around the border. Just a tiny bit. But you're thinking, God almighty, this is a good start to, like, you know, 3D Palaces are texturing with old blue sets. Yes, and adjust. There we go. Right, dropping our paintbrush. Okay, that's our first part. Control D. Now we're going to do the same over here. So, let's take this part. There we go. Now, a good thing about 3ds Max, and I'm not going to be talking as much in this, mainly because I've got to concentrate, and also because, you know, there's not a lot I can say. I can do some fart gags for people that are complaining that, you know, we're not as funny as you used to be, and everyone else is funnier, and you should be talking about funny stuff, and we don't think you're funny anymore, and, you know, hell's teeth. We made a cock gag, so go and, like, watch Seinfeld or something. Okay, this is the tutorial. And whilst we try and keep you entertained as much as possible, that's not my job. Okay, you want to laugh? Come on over, bring beer, we'll have a laugh. I'm trying to show you how to do some textures. Okay, so we've got these two initial pieces here, right? So what we need to do now is open our blending options. I'm going to make these two into an exciting panel. So I'm going to have a bevel and emboss going on. Now over here I'm going to change my angle to 90 degrees. There are 90. Change my depth to about 600%, you see. Size here I'm going to drop down to about 3 because we don't need it too big. Soften, maybe change that to 3 as well. Maybe not though, maybe 1. There we go. Keep the stars in inner bevel, that works for me, and click OK. Okay, so we've got this first piece coming up. Nice. Next, I'm going to do layer, new, and this one's going to be a blank layer. Then another layer on top of that. Okay, so I know what I'm going down to, and I'm going to start with one of these fellas here. A nice little select box, by the way, in case you're wondering. I'm going to do that. And change my colour that I'm using from 70, 70, 70 to 100, 100, 100. Don't worry, we do add colour soon. And just do that. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a blending option to this. And we want a bevel and emboss. And we're going to change this to 400. Size to 2. No softening, and change it to a bevel and emboss. Click OK. Now, I'm going to copy this, so I'm going to do Control J, then holding down Shift whilst using this, which is our lovely kind of move tool here, hotkeys V. I'm just going to move it across to there. You know, it would probably help if we had our old friend key view on, so let's turn it on. There we go. Now Control J. Oops, it wasn't actually okay. Control J, then holding down Shift, move that over to there. And again. There we go. Okay, so we've got some kind of basic features going in here. We can have more basic fun features if you really want to, but I don't want too much on it. Okay, now if we go down to blank, which is where we started, pick the layer above it, which is the one that we made our first embossed beveled thingy on. We want to collapse that down to this blank layer. We put the blank layer in basically because if we don't have the blank layer in, then it's going to pick up all sorts of weird artifacts in there underneath it. So blend it down, Control E, go up one, Control E, Control E, Control E. Okay, that leaves us this piece here. Next, when we go into our dodge and burn tools, I'm going to use our burn tool. I've got the size picked as this, and I'm going to use this to add some basic kind of dirt and shading and fun stuff like that, yeah? So, start from here. Better collapse it some more. So, before I do, put my base layer, layer, new layer, and we're going to call this our glass door front layer. I'm going to drop layer 1 straight into it, and then drop our blank straight into it. There we go. Now we can use the burn tool, like this. Use it sparingly, by the way, okay? It's, I'm basically using it to kind of add some base highlights. What I mean is I'm kind of drawing the, I'm drawing the highlights by blocking out the rest using the burn tool, okay? And I'm also adding kind of areas where there should be dirt on it, and also around the edges here. Just adding bits at these kind of little corners here. Now, I mean, you won't actually see these that well once I'm done, but we're kind of adding depth to our texture a little bit, if you can see what I mean. Just kind of going around it. Oops, not that far. Yeah. I'm not using a Wacom, as you can tell today. I really should, but I don't want to. I prefer using my good old trusty Microsoft trackball. There we go. Okay, so it's like rough as the roads, but nice. Okay, we've got this initial basic kind of shape going on here. Next, we need to add a little something to it because it's still pretty primitive. So if I go to my file, open, Now I want to go to c:/3ds max 7/maps or 3ds max 8/maps, depending on how you feel. And we're going to grab a metal texture, and that old metal's quite nice. Or we can have some steel plates. I think I'll go for this nice old metal. Okay, so we've got this old metal here, so I'm going to do a control, let me think, what do I need to do again? Yeah, so I'm going to do control X, sorry, control A, control X, just cut it. Now in here, if I do a control V, I'm not happy with that texture. I don't think it's the texture I want, to be honest. Let's use a different one. File, open, c:/, I'll use my max 8 direction, program files, Autodesk, 3ds max 8, maps, there we are. And in the metal directory for here, they've actually got some better ones. So we've got red rust, beautiful, love this one. Okay, I'm just going to grab a piece at random, so about that big. Control A just to copy it. Oh, wrong one. Damn it. Control B. Let's control C to copy it. See, Chris. Right, over here, control V. Oh, not quite big enough. Get a bigger piece. It's better. Oh, that's a good size too. Now the opacity I'm going to change to 50%. Okay, that's nice. And here I'm going to change this to darken. Do I want darken or do I want lighten? Multiply, let's see. I can never decide which one I like more. Darken, multiply, colour burn. Ooh, they're all good. Ah, darken. Darken's nice. Adds some nice colour to it, yeah, but it doesn't actually ruin the rest of the image, if you can see what I mean. Okay, that's good. Now I need to get rid of the bits which I don't want it to affect, so this needs the eraser tool. Nice and rough. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing this. I could just stop being so silly. Oop. There we go. There we go. Right, if I just control E, now I can go into my magical wand properties here. Oh, sorry, I'll just do it the other way. I didn't want to, but you know how it is. Right, lasso tool. That did of course mean select this way tool. There we go. Don't worry, it does take us a few minutes to get warmed up and used to the old Photoshop again. Okay, Control Shift I, delete. That deletes all the bits out the inside. Now Control D to deselect everything again. So we're going to deselect everything on the inside of this. Be as careful as you can as well, okay? You're going, oh, what's that noise? Yeah, that's our toilet being flushed. Our toilet sounds like Al Bundy's toilet. Of mighty children when he invests in that really cool toilet. It's only available for children's parties, as long as your children don't mind being bored. And being taught how to drink heavily. Okay, delete, Control V, and if we scoot out now, so we can see our entire texture, which is there, you can see that we've done a small piece of it. Hooray! So if I go to now to File and Save As, and in our texture section, I'm going to call this Tutorial Texturing Part 1. Hooray! Now if I drop over into my unwrap here, and I'm going to open a new material, let's say this one, make it a nice ray trace material as well, comes in handy later on. Now I'm going to drag it over to our environmental escape unit here, and in our diffuse slot I'm going to stick a bitmap, which is going to be, let me see, I should have a shortcut too somewhere. There we are, shortcut to projects, blackout, environmental escape unit, textures, tutorial text stream part 1. It can load in PSD files quite happily, and I've collapsed my layers. Now if I click this, you can see we've already just applied our first piece of texture to it. If I hit F9, there it is. Look at that. So if you follow this tutorial, you now know how to texture a very, very small piece of this. And the next parts will be texturing even more of this. So isn't that really fun? So, see you in the next part, and thanks for watching. Bye.